Hey everyone, it's Emily Listman with the Emily Listman Real Estate Group, and I am here today to share with you the market update for Sacramento County, all areas combined, May 2020. During this coronavirus pandemic, I've got some good news, some mediocre news, all in all, kind of some surprising results that we saw come out of April. So as you know, if you've watched my videos before, all of this information is based on the data pulled from MetroList MLS for Sacramento County in April 2020. I'm going to compare most of the numbers to March of 2020. Usually I look back at the previous year, but because of everything that's going on, I find that most people are really wanting real-time data, what's happening right now. So you'll find that I'm going to be looking a lot at what happened last month. So to start us off, this graph shows us homes that were listed for sale, homes that sold, which means they closed, and then also homes that went pending, which are new sales. So you can see pretty much from the graph what's going on in our market. You see that typically this time of year, the numbers are much higher than they are right now. So we definitely see the numbers are lower than what we would expect during a typical spring and summer season, and there are very obvious reasons for that. You're also going to see further in my presentation that some other factors in the market are very similar to what we see this time of year. So as you can see, there were more homes listed in April than in March, which of course is very common in the spring season, but also shows a little more confidence from sellers that they are willing to put their homes on the market with all of the tools that we have at our disposal virtually and following all the good rules to show homes and sell them. We also saw the pending sales increase. That's the red line that goes through there. So that means more homes actually went into contract in April than what happened in March. And keep in mind, in March, we didn't even go shelter in place until, the second half of the month. So it's very promising to see these numbers increasing. What we did see a decrease in is the actual closed homes. And I've got a few ideas on this that I'll go over real quickly. So first and foremost, lenders, title companies, they're all a little bit backed up. So we're seeing a lot of escrows taking 45 to 60 days right now instead of 30. So that's going to show a little bit of a skewed result on closings. Also, we saw an unprecedented number of homes go back on the market in April. There's a few reasons for that. Some, of course, is just buyers being worried about what's going to happen in the marketplace, of course, okay? But also we see some of the lending restrictions have gotten far more strict. So there are a lot of people, unfortunately, that were pre-approved for a loan. And then when the lenders got strict on their guidelines, they lost their purchasing power. And so were forced to fall out of escrow. There were even some sellers who decided they just didn't want to show their home, take it off the market for a while. So there's a lot of different factors that go into why those closings are lower. All right, average price per foot. We did see an increase in all of the pricing across the board. So average price per foot, that increase from 250 to 255 is about, I want to say 4.3% or something. So it's not a huge jump, but it is significant to see that price per foot go up. So from 250 to 255, and as you can see, that's the highest price per foot we've seen on average in Sacramento County for over a year, and probably even if we looked back to the peak, that would be the highest we've seen. So very promising there. This graph is going to show us our days on market, which I love to pay attention to. And then also the green line, and this is really interesting, the green line represents the average list, on average, the homes that were, what their selling price was compared to their list price. So sorry, I made that a little confusing. Basically, it's at 100%. So on average, every home listed for $400,000 sold for $400,000. So it's a wash there. It's actually the highest, again, we've seen in over a year. I think there are some reasons for that. Obviously, we see prices tick up this time of year anyway, but also I think sellers have been a little less aggressive with their pricing. And by that, I mean being a little more cognizant of what's going on in the world. And so pricing their homes really where they should be at market value, or maybe even a little lower instead of trying to get that extra money. And buyers are also being cognizant of that and making full price offers. So we're seeing, who knew there could be humanity in real estate? Just kidding. But we are seeing, that's very interesting. Probably one of the biggest surprises is the days on market. At 20 days, that's the lowest. I mean, we almost never see a days on market that low. I believe that has a lot to do with prices being a little bit more reasonable, sellers being more reasonable with their pricing, and buyers wanting to take advantage of that. Also, despite the fact that all of this is going on, we still have more buyers in the market than we have homes to sell. So buyers are acting quickly when they see a home. It could even be less, actually, if it weren't for the fact that it's so hard to actually show a home right now. All right, so this graph, the main line I want you to look at here is the red line, because that's your average sold price. And it did tick up a little, again, not a huge jump from $433 to $441, it's about $8,000, but still significant for 1 month of sales. The median price, which is the blue blocks, that just shows you that from March to April, we didn't see any change in the median price. So in Sacramento County, the median price of a home is $400,000. Okay. Months of inventory. So this is where this correlates back to that first graph. So we saw more, an increase in new listings and a decrease in actual solds. So that's why you see this jump in months of inventory. And just for those of you who don't watch my videos, months of inventory means with all the homes that are currently on the market, if nothing else came on the market, how many months would it take for them to sell? Anything below 3 months is a seller's market, and anything above 6 months is a buyer's market. So at 1.7 months of inventory, we're still extremely healthy if a seller's market is healthy, in your opinion, but still definitely lacking some inventory. What we'd like to look at for a neutral market is that 3 to 6 months of inventory magic spot. Based on pending sales, as you saw, actual new sales did increase. So of course, if you look at the pending sales, the months of inventory is only at 1.4. So that makes sense, right? Because if you base it on what's actually in contract, we don't have as many homes on the market as you might think we do. All right, so what does all this mean? Although we did see a decrease in our sold closed homes, which I think I explained some different reasons for that, pending sales and new listings were up, which still shows that there's a lot of activity in the market and that we should see that activity continue. I believe that the lack of inventory matched with the abundance of buyers in our market led to the significant decrease in days on market, and I think we're going to see that continue. The average pricing has not only held steady, but it has increased slightly, and I think this is a surprise to a lot of us. Even myself, I expected prices might decline a little, but because there's still such a high demand for housing here, we're not seeing that happen. We're seeing prices holding very steady. Months of inventory has increased. However, it is still far below what would be considered a neutral normal market. So we're still in that seller's market. And the absorption rate, which I didn't show you a graph of, but based on the months, on the current inventory that's on the market right now, we could expect about 60% of those homes to sell this month, coming in May. And so we definitely need those new listings to make up for that 60% of homes that is most likely going to go this month. And I expect to see that absorption rate go up a little higher unless we get an influx of listings, which I'm not sure will happen until we get into maybe phase 3 of the reopen. As a summary, a few things to consider and a few things that you might have questions about. All signs do point to a healthy summer seller's market. Activity, great pricing. We do have a housing shortage in Sacramento, and that's not going to change. There are still a ton of buyers moving into the area, and that's because Sacramento has significant job growth in comparison to other areas of the country. We also have great affordability, one of the lowest actually in the state, and very competitive nationwide for the affordability in Sacramento, believe it or not. So those are some reasons that we still have such an influx of buyers coming into this area and why the housing shortage may continue. Also, as far as listings go, sellers do have significant equity. I know there's a lot of concern out there about foreclosures and short sales. Guys, this is not that market. Sellers have, I want to say it was something like 46% equity on average or something when they did the last poll. It's crazy. So significant equity means significant equity partnered with what I've been telling you, which is that pricing is holding steady and even ticking up a little. Those two things will continue to maintain a strong market in Sacramento County. I can't speak for other places, but in Sacramento County, we're just not going to see that foreclosure short sale activity like we did back in the recession. So I hope this helped you. I know I get a little excited and flamboyant about numbers and all of that, but I'm somebody who really relies on data. I think there's a lot the media is telling us. There's a lot going on in politics. Of course, I pay attention to the stock and bond markets because those do directly affect real estate. However, I try to really concentrate on my hyper-local market. I do pay attention to California numbers and national, but Sacramento County is my home. This is where I sell real estate, and so I want to look at the numbers here and share them with you. If you would like a market report for your city, area, or zip code, it's very easy for me to pull that data. So please reach out to me. Email me at emilylistman.com. I like to keep it simple, and I will shoot that over to you. And in the meantime, I hope you are all healthy and safe. If there's anything at all I can help you with, and I'm not talking real estate, I mean a friendly phone call, if you need a meal, whatever I can do for you, I would love to help and serve my community. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Let me get myself set up to stop this recording here. And I will not see you soon. I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.